Hi everyone, welcome to our first chat podcast.
Yeah, podcast, super content for all the advertisers out there. Just Games Workshop if you need anyone to officially front anything.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, definitely. Look, so let's say a quick story. So we say hello, but like welcome. So look, my name's Rudy.
I'm Chris.
We are basically just people really interested in the hobby. I've been sort of only playing really Warhammer 40k since middle of last year, but I was trying to calculate it. It was about 30 years ago when I actually stopped. And the last game I was playing was it called Warhammer Fantasy then?
It was Warhammer. Was this one?
There we are.
It was that one.
Look at that.
So that I found in my garage. And I, being like a 10-year-old when I think I probably got this.
That is amazing.
They're still, most of the models are still grey. And they're still in the box. It's the High Elves one. It's when Warhammer used to give you the characters as card.
Yeah.
It was like the orc on the wyvern, and the bolt thrower, and the High Elf Lord, whose name escapes me now, was on a piece of card.
Yeah.
So when everyone moans at how expensive Warhammer is, and it's a great value product.
Yes,
Thank you, Games Workshop, for all that you do for us.
And for the wives watching.
Yeah. If anyone's watching, really great value.
Yeah, everything's 20 quid.
Everything's 15 quid. At least the models now in the box are beautiful.
Oh.
Because back then it was just like the cool models were card, and then you just got a load of goblins like that.
That's it, yeah. No, definitely.
You're supposed to be grateful.
But I think when I was playing it, they were the metal, or
yes,
was it lead then? I don't know, but it was or white metal, was it called? Then I don't know.
Yeah, like this guy. Yeah, I don't know. We can. They'll bring it.
You might get real close.
That's Hugo Le Petit, who I painted 30 odd years ago.
I'm impressed with your paint skills then.
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. I think it's just washes. Nothing has changed in my talent pool. Nothing has changed. All that I basically just spent more money on washes.
No, it's cool. It is good.
But I think there was a sort of there was a lot of TV out at the time. Like obviously there was a lot of cool sci-fi.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of cool fantasy.
Yeah,
knights.
You like Conan and the Barbarian
era. All of
isn't
that
it?
stuff was that era of. But even things like First Night and those sorts of films that had all of that kind of medievalness.
Yes,
was really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and as you got into the 90s and bits and pieces, there was also there was great stuff there. You know, that it did seem a lot of medieval stuff, didn't it? Do you think? Yeah. You know, like Robin Hood films of sort of
like Prince of Thieves stuff. I guess that was all kind of the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I think
Men in Tights.
Well, the Bretonian, they had like the Robin Hood model, which I've got at home. He's posed a bit like that, and there's a friar tuck. They all look very. It's all very again awesome. Not querying the IP, of course. And obviously, I fully appreciate you guys are in Nottingham, and it's probably one of the things to be, when you want to go for a walk outside, why would you ever want to leave Nottingham? Of course, what a beautiful city of culture. I don't know, is it? It might be. I don't know if it is, but it should be if it isn't. And yeah, you've got that. I don't know. Maybe there's something in that.
Yeah.
But I think there was, because I think the fantasy world is a really interesting one, and I really enjoyed the character during. Maybe before COVID, I read the End Times books.
Okay.
Which spell out how the old world gets destroyed and we get to Age of Sigmar, which I've never played or not. Yeah. I'm not not that interested in exploring at the moment. But it was a real shame because I think there were some really cool characters in Old World. With probably built with a similar amount of love to the 40k ones. And then it was sort of this hard like Alt Control Delete reset, which I probably wasn't paying much attention to, and I wasn't collecting or building or doing anything at that time, so I wasn't paying attention. But I definitely think now that the old world is back and the Bretonian box and the undead, whatever they're called, guys, those models are really beautiful. I think there's a lot that can be done with that makes it feel really different to 40k.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Which I think is also what makes it interesting as a person who likes rolling dice. And I just like and understanding how games just work, how board games work.
Yeah.
Because I really love how clever board games work. And, Warhammer's so good at that. Having something that feels very different to 40k.
Yeah.
Is probably the thing that our interest.
No, definitely. And I mean, so look, very quickly, so we're gonna sort of cover off sort of like, and we're tapping into it then, a little bit of the nostalgia. We're then going to sort of like just see if we, from just some of our early sort of reading, just picking up these books and bits and pieces, because we have literally just picked these up. You've had yours a couple of weeks at the most, haven't you?
Yeah.
I got mine. It came in last weekend with the some other bits and pieces, and then we want to just sort of discuss to see what differences there are between this and 40k, and then the final thing really is actually I've got a really exciting box I want to show everyone.
A very exciting box.
Very exciting box.
Jealous. Yeah.
You haven't even seen it yet, have you?
I haven't seen it. It hasn't allowed me to see it. It's down there, and I've resisted the temptation.
It's down there in the box, and I've took it out of the brown box and then put it back in, but I haven't opened it up and looked inside it yet. So
it's gonna have that new box smell.
Yeah, definitely. So okay, so look, back to nostalgia then. So you've got it. I mean, for me, look, the last time I played it, I had little dwarves.
Yeah.
They were metal. They're on their square bases.
Yeah.
And I remember them being all blocked together. It was on a flat. Velvety green sort of board. Yeah. It looked very similar to some of the pictures we see there.
Yeah.
And I used to play it with my brother Billy. It was great. Did we play much for the rules? Probably we didn't, to be honest. But we had a real good fun doing it.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting coming back to it now, because I definitely think when I was 11, I probably didn't have the patience or the headspace or the community or like people who were interested enough to figure it out.
No.
And that sort of proverbial kind of hobbyist hand holding that's required, totally appropriate and consenting, of course. To figure it out, because there's so much. I mean, I think probably what looking at this has made me appreciate, maybe, and obviously some of it might come from familiarity, is how clean and with that maybe loses the granularity that 40k is.
Yeah.
Versus this, which we were just looking at the movement phase, and then it's like 20 pages.
That's it, yeah.
Of how how to move the miniatures.
Yeah, definitely.
Across the board.
Let's see if we can let's just switch camera a little bit and just see if we can just flick through and see if we can find the movement bit in this. In this bit here. Hang on, we're gonna switch camera and then we just have to move it into the centre up to here.
Get rid of Hugo, and then we'll get rid of this in a minute.
And it's sort of quite. Hang on, mate. You might have to push that up into the centre.
Will do. I'm just trying to get the movement phase. The movement phase is 13 pages, which. Again, I just don't know a lot of 10-year-olds who are really up for that.
Yeah, definitely.
So to suggest that we're not part of the target market for Games Workshop would obviously be a huge lie. That 40-year-old men are into the movement. I don't even know what that means.
40 men into the movement.
I'm just really into the movement. It's like Pilates. Just really into the movement. But it just seems very.
But it's sort of we go through, and it talks about formations, doesn't it? And it's sort of, I mean, I forgot all about this until I started getting to these pages.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't remember everything of it. I just remember just moving around in blocks. But the wheeling, it's immense, isn't it?
And it's interesting how I wonder I mean,
it's a lot more investment, isn't it?
How much of it has changed from 1990 or 1993, I guess.
That snapshot does it? I mean,
No,
I'm sure
when you look at it actually quickly, there's so much similarity. Or maybe maybe we'll look at it and
that is
try
so cool
and be a little bit.
I can't. I'm still like amazed. Actually, you've got that.
Yeah, I know, and I think it is quite cool to come back and look at it and think how much the game has progressed or not, or maybe this was always a really nice way to play. And
do you get that feeling? Like, I mean, I a lot of my toys have gone on that, but my brother a while ago got me a He-Man sort of like toy. It was an original one.
Yeah.
Got it for Christmas for a bit of jest really, but it was weird. As I unwrapped it, I didn't know I was getting it, and it was this really weird, warm feeling. Like, oh, hang on a minute, I haven't like held this thing since I was like in a little kid happy place. Do you know what I mean? You know, is that similar to sort of that? Because like you had that, and it's like. Wow,
I think it's definitely got to be. Yeah. I think there's so much of it that you kind of reach back to. And I just think also what I'm always sort of super excited about with Games Workshop products in general is how much I feel anyway that they don't lose the sense of nostalgia.
No.
Like, I really loved Space Hulk as a kid.
Yeah.
Because that was actually a slightly simpler game.
Yeah.
With far fewer models. And then now when you look at boarding action, or you look at just a 40k table now, I'm still like, this feels the same. It's different, but it feels the same in the kind of level of like, okay, right, I'm really quite invested in this moment of faffing around with these little plastic soldiers, which I think maybe the interest also changes. Like we were saying earlier about sort of locking in on the hobby. I think maybe there's the appeal is it's not superficial as a hobby. Maybe the appeal is that the book is really thick. And it makes that noise. And maybe that's what makes it so interesting. You don't know it. Like, there's so much in here to know. How could you retain it all?
100%. I think if I had gone straight into this last year, I probably would have given up. I think because firstly. Like local clubs and everything else, it's 40k, isn't it?
I think 40k is definitely the flagship game.
And I was very lucky that I met people who could actually be quite helpful, lenient to me, and I was able to play. And I had a pool of people that I could literally just sort of like on tap. If I was brave enough to put my name out there, I could get it. You can't do that with this as much. I think it's becoming a bit more popular.
I definitely feel like, looking at our local gaming sort of scene, there are more people who are willing to play. And it does seem that way. And I think I don't think I'm seeking this as a sort of replacement for 40k.
No.
I'm super sort of invested in that as a hobby and as a painting experiment, as creativity. And from a not competitive perspective, but from a like, I enjoy playing and it's fun and I know it well enough to be able to roll some dice and remember things. Whereas this, I think, appeals to a sense of nostalgia and also a sense of a little bit of variety because it feels so different.
Definitely.
To 40k. And I'm really glad that it does. It's not just. It's not the 40k rule book, but with knights in it.
No.
Or, Skaven. Or whatever. It's got a really different feel to it.
So Chris has gone for his Bretonians. Haven't you, mate?
So I think, because that partly kind of on a this would seem like a really good box to get. And obviously, no complaints Games Workshop, but it'd be really handy if these books were in the box that you sold us. I'm just speaking directly. If James Workshop, if you're there, it would be really helpful if everything was in the box to play the game that you sold to us. But I appreciate that. I also love the miniatures, and I think you're doing a great job.
It's just one invoice to get under the nose of the long-haired general. You know?
Yeah, for sure. No one needs to know how much these things are. But yeah, so it's quite cool. And what I really like knights. I like the idea of the knights. I'm buzzing about my colour scheme.
That is such a really,
that's a cool.
Yeah,
I love
the artwork. Is amazing.
The artwork is stunning. I mean, the books are beautiful, and this only came to me today, and so it's very much kind of flying by the seat of my Pegasus.
That's a hell of a seat.
That was a hell of a what a seat. And my son and I, we started sort of beasting through the box. And again, like the miniatures look really, really lovely, and they're really, they're not as.
It is a hobby for the kids too.
We talked about that before. This is exactly why we're here for quality time, as we're shut away from our children.
This is why we're sitting
in
here.
a makeshift studio in a mystery location. And so not because we're hiding from anyone. It's not a safeguarding concern. We're safe. So safe. But the safe word is bananas. If we shout it 3 times, send someone to look for us. But what I quite like is certain things I've like picked up. So I kind of similar but different to 40k. So I really like. There's like an army rule. I don't think it's called that, but whatever it is. And so for Bretonians, I quite like the idea. It's kind of got like a Sisters of Battle feel in a kind of religious fervor kind of way. And so there was a Bretonian character called Leonker in the old game before Warhammer killed it, and it was basically a Bretonian king on a griffin.
And
if any of you have played Warhammer Total War, he's like he's a character in that. He looks like it's cool, but obviously in this reset he's not there, and I quite like that. There's not a lot of named characters to an extent because it lets you build the narrative in your head of something totally different.
Load it up how you want.
But what I sort of vaguely taken so far is obviously the knights are really, really strong. I'm sure that there are people that have played far more than you can easily play far more than me because I've not played. But I quite like the idea that so you pray to the lady at the beginning of the game, which automatically means you go second. But if you take that, then you get effectively like a 5-up invulnerable save.
I like the sound of that.
Which I think it sort of plays, and I think
just imagine. Like that, like in the film, when you see him just sort of like firstly just running along the line, like Gladiator. You know what I mean? Like when they going along, and then it's just like they all get down on the knee.
Yeah. Have you seen Kingdom of Heaven?
Yes.
With Legolas.
Yes.
Whatever his name is, and but not Legolas obviously because that's like a cross of genres. And there's like the Knights Templar in there. Yeah. And what's his name? Something de Lugion. I've forgotten his name now.
It's been a while since I've watched it, but it is. Yeah.
It's a great film.
It is.
And that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. So I'm going to do them in purple and yellow. So I'm very excited about the colour scheme.
Yeah, that's.
And I bought myself some green flock as well, moving away from the kind of war-torn universe of 40k, where nothing's green and everything's apparently a baddie. I hate that about 40k, by the way, just so you know. I just think we could all be honest with ourselves. They're no good guys. I think they absolutely are. Like, oh, well, the Imperium's bad. Okay, so the Imperium's not great, but, you wouldn't want to live in the Eye of Terror. Like, if you were choosing between, like, Terror and the Eye of Terror, there is a choice to be made there. Okay? I'm just saying, if you could live on an Eldar craft world or in, like, a slave pit, you absolutely would choose. So for everyone who's like, it's grimdark, guys, everything's bad. It's like, it's bad, but there's shades of bad. All right? I want to get that out there and I want to be real about it with the community. I think we need to stop saying it. Okay, yeah, we get it, it's grimdark. Okay, I get it. I know some of you don't like the idea of orcs being funny. I get it. You want your hobby to be like, it's just so meta. Like, it's just like full Batman. No one's good here. Like, it's so anti-hero. Yeah, there's bad and then there's bad, right? There's bad. Like, you wouldn't want to live in like some sort of hive crone shit, would you? Like, it's just the same. It's living on Ultramar. It's not, mate. It's not. It's not. And I've got a separate tirade about Gilliman, but I'll give you that another time. So I think the guy's a I think the guy's a legend, and everyone in the community needs to stop talking him down, particularly other factions of Space Marines. I just think it really upsets me because he came back, he saved everyone. No one's giving him any credit. I know that's got nothing to do with this, but I just want to get it out there. Every video, I just want to say, I think admin personally is really important, and that's why Gilliman is my man. Anyway, but I'm going to do them in purple and yellow, and I bought some beautiful transfers from Archie's Forge, I think it's called.
Right, nice. Okay.
And he does really great decals.
Yeah.
And so I've got those, so I'm going to go for like a Templar type thing, which I think looks cool. And then, I think the army looks really interesting. I think it's really varied. I quite like the idea that I'm going to have some sort of rubbishy infantry, and that's fine. And I've got these cool knights, and I really love the idea of the Duke, and the Duke model is, really cool on that kind of like Royal Pegasus type thing. Yeah. And we were talking a little bit, just trying to figure out what even an armor save was, because we couldn't quite appreciate that there's no power armor in the old world, so everyone's going to die all the time.
We had both rule books open and sort of
took us a week.
Yeah,
we've been here since last Wednesday. So that's where I am. I think I just got to get it built, and then maybe we'll think about in the future just trying to get some stuff together.
Yeah, definitely. Well, shall we discuss my sort of exciting bits and pieces? Yeah. So hang on, let's just see if we can just
move this out the way.
Switch camera and that then. So,
look at it.
I know, it's
cool.
Pretty cool, isn't it? This is sort of, so these have been floating about, haven't they, for probably a couple of years now. I think I haven't played it, but it's been in, is it Warhammer 3 or the
it's been
game?
In,
I haven't been playing
it's been in Total War, which I think is also a really great lead-in.
Thank you.
Yeah, Total War, which is cool, and I think it's a really cool lean-in. I think obviously so many of those rendered, digital models are obviously a great way for Warhammer to test the aesthetic. But they look amazing, and I think they offer. Firstly, we were saying earlier, I really like how, kind of to an extent, old world maps. Yeah. Obviously to an extent, it's a fantasy game. I get it. Yeah. There aren't really lizard men in South America. I fully appreciate that. But I like how there's a kind of like. I get it. Just don't at me. But I think it's really interesting how it sort of leans into a kind of Earth aesthetic.
Yeah.
In some respects,
definitely.
In certain places. And I love how the main human factions, if you like, the ones that have models at the moment, so Empire, Bretonia, and now Cathay, have a real distinct feel from each other that's different to one another.
No, definitely. Hang on, let's just go back to that again. That like some of these, they're just
stunning.
Yeah, what was it? Was it Adepticon? This was sort of actually the models, the first images of the models coming out. I don't know which ones they were, but a couple of little models, wasn't it? That's when, just starting to see them then. Yeah. That's when I started sort of thinking
that
about
general
this as a
guy.
Hobby.
Look at that guy. Just looks stunning, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
And I love how they've really leaned into that kind of East Asia aesthetic, and the dragon itself looks really different to a kind of European interpretation of the same thing.
It's got sort of like a bit of stag going isn't it? And it's beautiful. And the thing is it's just whether I can do it justice when I get the model.
You can. But, I think that the quality of them now, like look, the guys with the cannons, they look so good. And that kind of like weird ogre guy, whatever he is. Yeah,
just it's cool. Just as a sort of like a thing here, we are using your web page, Games Workshop here, but hope you don't mind just to share. We're sharing that there, but I've been very excited for some time on that. I think you have been on this too, haven't you? Yeah. This sort of started off really. I sent you a message, didn't I? A WhatsApp message saying, "Ever thought of doing Old World?"
It was your fault.
And then you swore. And then next thing,
I don't do it on camera now.
For weeks, you had been sort of putting the Bretonian box in your basket, hadn't you?
I had in and an out.
Yeah, definitely. And then the release date came out on this.
I didn't think you'd buy it. That was the problem. Because I was like, oh look, it's coming, and you were like, bought it. I was like, oh no, and then
So yeah, you haven't seen this at all, have you? You
look at it.
Have not
go,
seen it at all.
Go.
So,
oh my goodness!
I know.
I really hope it's in here. I'm really disappointed if it's just like colouring crayons. Oh my god, I could see it.
I know. I hope there's something inside it because I haven't opened this bit up. I've done this bit, but I haven't done the other bit. So let's just switch to the big boy overhead camera here. So hang on.
See it.
Everyone.
Oh, look at that balloon cam.
Here we go. Well, look, there it is. And sorry that it's not that clear. We're using my phone at the moment at the top there, and hopefully in time we'll be able to get a bit more investment going into it. But yeah, that's just
stunning.
It's nice, isn't it?
I mean, the miniatures look so cool. And again, I think the aesthetic is just so interesting and varied against Empire and Bretonia.
Yeah.
Which I think is the kind of cool thing to keep it. Oh, look at that!
I know. Look, just sort of. Oh.
I don't know which. I was googling from the community about which one of those, because I don't know if you can build two of each one or you're.
No, it's one.
Oh, see, I've heard very good things about this one.
Yeah, it's one of. I think you've got two, and then you can build. I think you're right. I think I could probably build two
of the same.
Two of the same.
Okay,
I think
I've heard good things about this one.
I think so. But we're gonna. So should we get it open?
Let's go. I could also be in if there's two of either. Oh, you could build two rockets.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go. Break the seal.
I've been waiting like a week for this.
I know, you've been very patient because I did not wait.
No. I
was like, no, and I was in there.
We were meant to do it on both boxes, by the way. This is what was happening.
I promise I will have built things next time.
Here we go.
Built and painted things to start. Oh, here we go. He's in.
Oh,
there's a lot of plastic in there, buddy. There they are. Oh my lord.
Look at this.
Oh, well, see now we need to figure out what your what they are.
Well,
what they do.
That is a good question. I don't know if we've got long enough in this video.
No, we could probably do like
another one.
Whistle stop tour of. I mean, there's so many beautiful models for these guys. Because obviously what we didn't talk about, maybe we need to next time, is the Dragon Lady, which is probably one of the most beautiful models that GW. I mean, that's saying something. I don't think I've been disappointed with the Warhammer model.
I hope you can see. I mean, it's just sort of look, nice thick book. You know, typical Games Workshop, really well laid out. That's one thing they do well, isn't it? With their sort of their instructions. I mean, it's not like the. I'm not going to say the name of it, but a sort of like a aircraft sort of model company.
Oh, I think
years and years ago. I mean, I'm sure they're a lot better nowadays, by the way. But I remember sort of like just trying to interpret
what is going where,
and the pilot sits on this little bit. Okay.
I never really got. You know what? I never got into it.
I wasn't talking about that.
I know you were. So I don't even know why I did that. We'll bleep that out. I don't know what we're talking about. I never really got into building model planes, of which there are many companies.
Just honestly, well, I mean, anyway, look, I could go on just looking for that and there, but yeah, the really actually just nice that. So,
what's the general in here? I think it's a dude. I think you get. Is it the main? There's the Jade officer.
Do I?
You get a Jade officer, I think.
Right.
Who I think might be your general, because I'm just going to flick to your cavalry. Oh, you do. So you get two officers. You get one on your horses, and you get one in your Hujits dudes. I love that you get a musician, which means you march better.
Oh yes, I saw a little bit of that. I mean,
well, I assume I think it means that you can. The
problem is, I've sort of been jumping about in the book because I started, the rule book or whatever. It's more than just a rule book, isn't it? I started with the lore, and then I was like, I need to start reading the rules.
Yeah.
but the lore's so good.
Yeah. It is interesting.
So let's have a look. How many sprues have we got here? This is the first time I was doing a review here, but they're the sort of things probably people like to hear. So what have we got going on? Let's have a little look then.
Let me get that out of the way. Put that over there.
I mean, there's a lot of kit in here.
You are not
Is that what I guess the Bretonnians probably look very similar when you have it.
Yeah. I mean,
but more, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I felt shortchanged.
No.
From that box at all.
I mean, there is. Whoa. If we count these as individual, what's that? That's 16 there, isn't it?
That's a lot.
It is, isn't it? 9, 20, 22.
What does that cannon? Have you got, before you bury it, what's that cannon look like in your thingy?
I don't know. Over 20 odd sprues here. Where is it?
The cannon was on the bottom somewhere. It was on that side.
Yeah.
I mean, the detail on the bar.
Here he is. Oh, look at that. Here we go.
I think the ogre gives you like different benefits, which we probably need to look at another time.
Oh my god.
Oh, look at the transfer sheet. Oh my god, that's beautiful.
God, that is sexy, isn't it?
Those are beautiful. Okay, yeah, those are.
I mean, I haven't got a tattoo, not one tattoo on my body, but I want one now. Do you know what I mean?
That's very extreme. So that was an extreme move. I just really don't want. I don't want anyone's life partners to be really upset with other choices, and I don't want to be blamed for that. I have not encouraged you to get a tattoo. I think it's totally cool just to enjoy the hobby. You've got to totally immerse yourself.
Not that we do.
No.
Not that we're trying to be influencers now.
No,
not at all.
Not at all. No, not us. Oh, that is so cool.
Oh,
I want to know what that big guy gives you.
I don't.
What does I'm just gonna quick flip.
It looks like we're getting a little bit laggy on this camera, guys. We're getting a little bit freaked out on here. Can we see that? Okay, yeah, there we go. I might have to slow down a little bit, so apologies. Here we go. I don't know. It's the detailing isn't great on here. Here we go.
The ogre gives you a benefit. What does he do?
Look.
The ogre is a special type of character that can be taken as an upgrade to the war machine. During deployment, the ogre with its war machine, the character, the crew gains +1 modifier to movement characteristic and the stubborn special rule. Oh, that's quite cool. So you can move that. You can move it a bit quicker. I suppose you would do. He's massive.
Let's just hold this up here. Don't know if we can sort of see. If we let that focus a minute. I mean, it is just
those ogre models look great.
The problem is you can't really see it, guys, girls. The detailing on this dragon. I mean, it's just on the cannon.
Yeah,
so nice.
Yeah, I mean they are. I mean, you know, the way that, as with a lot of the products at the moment, like it's just such an up.
It's just going to be. I mean, just
look. I know it's just dry brush.
Yeah. It is,
I just think it's dry brush people. So people that are painting details by hand or doing edge highlighting.
So I mean,
I don't understand you.
20 odd sprues. Was it 50 miniatures in here?
Yeah.
50 miniatures. Yeah.
None of them are made of card.
I mean, look about. I mean, I don't know what when's the next lot's available. I've got no idea.
Yeah.
I do recommend you sort of looking about to where you get it from, because the prices do vary hugely. I will admit that I didn't look about. I was so panicky that I wasn't going to get this. I just ordered it direct.
That's understandable.
And yeah, especially, but it arrived. And do you know what? There's one thing that I want to say about Games Workshop is the service is unbelievable. So this it was tracked. It was UPS. They delivered it. I'm sure there's other ones out there, but they were the ones who delivered it. I remember it was meant to be coming. It was coming on the Saturday, last Saturday, and it stuck to that. But we were going to be going out for a day, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to be about. I need to make sure I'm about.
Yeah, no one's going to steal. Anyone stealing it because I would be waiting outside your house.
So what happened is I came downstairs to make a brew for the missus and me, and then all of a sudden, the wife shouts out, look outside.
And it's Santa.
And there I was, just in my pyjama bottoms and no top on.
Oh,
and
wow.
the curtains were drawn.
For everyone.
I know. And I was
village.
pacing up and down the lounge. I was sort of like thinking, well, what do I do? Do I go out now? Do I not? Do I not? And I even peeked out the curtain a little bit like that. And he's like, he's still at the van. He's still at the van.
He's going to drive off.
And then I was just like, no, I'm going out.
Yeah, he's going to drive off. He's going to drive off with your Cathay box.
He's going to think I'm not here. You know?
He's going to drive off with your Cathay box.
So no, look, what I love about it is because this is the first time I've ever ordered something which is being released. So I had all that excitement and everything else, and it was delivered on the day it was released.
I know, it's so cool.
I think
it's great to start an army this way. And I think probably, my having been back into sort of 40k purchasing anyway, or Warhammer purchasing since COVID, and sort of flirting at the peripheries with a box here and a box there, as much as it becomes somewhat addictive and not always super positive, I think financially anyway, I think that the key thing with it really I think getting into the hobby is to really lean into a faction and get it. I think the sort of the trifecta of the hobby, and then the sort of fourth bit, the building, the painting and the playing, and then the fourth bit, which is the lore, the fluff, the story, the narrative, how it looks in your head when you play or put it on the table or it sits on the shelf for you, whatever you daydream about it. I think the best value, I think, has always been, I know it might seem a bit of investment, but actually it's so much better to just go, right, I'm all in and I'm going to get this faction going, than a box here, a box there, and then never really being able to take it to the table. I mean, a lot of people get a lot of joy from the hobby, from building and from painting and from kit bashing, which is kind of where I started. But actually for me now, it's more complete sets of something I can do the full range of the hobby with, which I find interesting. It motivates
definitely.
me anyway to get it painted, because I want to get it to the table. Whereas before, maybe there isn't necessarily always the motivation to paint, because what's it for? Yeah,
exactly. I think now there's you, me, Alex, Tom. There's some guys I know down at the local RAF base. They've got a club there. Now that you're still circling around people, instead of just sort of, I'm painting this up and see if I can find a game, there's a bit more pressure on thinking, I'm going to get that done because I either got thrashed last week and I need
that's
that.
Absolutely motivating for me.
Especially in 40k, I need to get that sorted,
motivating.
Isn't it?
Absolutely, the gamiest model
that's it.
I can get.
How many times have you got home like after a game at like midnight and then ordered the...
It would have been different. Absolutely nothing to do with me. It's absolutely to do with the models I bought,
dice roll,
and the dice.
Yeah. So look, we won't go all the way through this book here, but I just wanted to show you just very quickly some of the artwork in here, because it's absolutely amazing.
Yep.
And it reminds me, and I'm trying to think of. My dad used to have these books which were sort of like certain army types, and I'm trying to think what the publisher was.
I can see them in my head.
And there were drawings, and it might be of the Napoleonic, or it might be of 1980s British Army. And that is exactly what that reminds me of, and I can't remember what it is. Something sword? Pen and sword? Is it? I don't know.
I'm going to Google it. Keep it live, everyone. Don't look at me.
Because it was like this sort of... It reminds me of that. That's what it reminds me of. It's brilliant.
I know the ones that you mean. I know. I've got some on... Hang on. You carry on talking, mate.
No,
I'm
that's
fine.
I'm just noticing... it is laggy as anything, this is. So I apologise what you're sort of seeing there. When you go to the larger one, it sort of, not too sure what's going on.
Yeah, well, I think you've done a great job. I think the studio looks great. I think
Thank you.
Osprey.
Osprey, that's it. Yes, Osprey.
Those are beautiful books. Yes,
it does, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
And I remember, like, there'd be sort of like a big Napoleon, a big moustache.
Yeah, exactly. I think that they've really done a great job with these.
So for those who are sort of, I mean, we're getting into this, okay. One thing I've picked up on is that for me to do Grand Cathay is I need a rule book, which is the big thick one over here. We're just showing that.
That one.
You're going to need this. You're going to need this bad boy here, no matter what. Then with Grand Cathay, I think you can get away then just with this, which is the journal, the Arcane Journal. Yeah. But if you're going to do anything else from the
goodies, there are goodies. Okay, it's so grimdark. You don't want to live chaos, mate. You don't want to be a beastman in a prey herd. Get real.
Actually, when you read about the law on that, there are crossbreeding and sort of, that's what it says.
Ungors.
That's not
that right. Doesn't sound appealing.
No.
Okay? I'd rather live in a castle in Bretonia or somewhere. Probably with Lyme's disease or something. I have grand thoughts about being like a knight and a lord, but I think I full well know that I'll be growing potatoes.
So Chris is playing Bretonians. He is going to need a rule book, and he is going to need his Forces of Fantasy. Okay, that is not a dodgy website. Okay, and then I am going to use the rule book, and then I'm going to use the Grand Cathay. However, I might start reading this thing. Oh no, I do need the book, but I don't know. But I think that is right.
I think you'll probably be all right. And there is a journal. There is one of those for Bretonia as well, which I understand gives you access to special characters and certain items.
Yeah, you're right, mate.
But I think to begin with, over the next few months, as we introduce a bit more content to you all, I think we'll probably be fine where we are. And then just have bits and pieces as we start to explore the game and develop our thinking about how we make it work.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially our next one on Old World, I think we're going to share how we're getting on with the mechanics and that.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about
it's going to help us sort of learn a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing, isn't it, is if you're able to sort of share what you know, it does seem to help then go store. For me, it stores it in my mind. So I think maybe we go through that. Whether you take it as an actual proper lessons is completely up to you.
But
you can go for our pain.
I wouldn't. Speaking from my incredible 40k career, I don't know why you find that funny. I don't think you're going to get top strategy advice.
No.
But what you will get is content.
That's it. Content and maybe sort of like us sharing the pain of us trying to learn
of trying to remember the sequence of
definitely.
the 13 pages of movement rules.
So look, I hope you found that all very useful. Like I say, this is our first time doing it. I think that's about it, really.
We haven't got a catchphrase to sign off.
Have you got a
I haven't. I'm winging it.
Are you?
I feel like Ron Burgundy and should have some sort of cool...
A lot less follicle.
Yeah, a lot... I know. Genetics is a cruel... It's cruel. But until, obviously, this YouTube thing starts paying off, in which case I'll be I'll be just growing the hair follicles back from stem cells. I think harvested somewhere else.
I think it's the YouTube thing taking off so far is about as close to that Forces of Fantasy of reality so far. But let's see how we get on, shall we?
Yeah.
But look, let's help that become not a Forces of Fantasy, and see if we can sort of do a little bit of liking and subscribing. Look at that! Look what I created there.
Oh my goodness!
I know, isn't that amazing?
It's like actually a proper thing.
Yeah, cool.
I'm really impressed with what you've done here.
So girls, let's just help us subscribe, do ding dong the bell, whatever it is you need to do.
Ding. It's so slick here. It's so slick here at the HQ. You just ding dong that bell.
You ding dong that bell. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
See you. Stay medieval.
Bye.